we will be receiving 11 heads of state and government, 2 vice presidents, 13 government representatives, 5 international reps of multilateral organizations, and a number of ex-presidents from West Africa and other parts of the world. Let me add that this is not expected to be the final figure. We will have the final figure about 24 hours to the event. They will be met at the airport and chaperoned to the venue. That is those who will come on the day of the event. And of course, those who will come a day before or days before the event will also be met and will be seen to the accommodation that has been prepared for them. For West Africa, we have a number of countries that have so far indicated their acceptance to be at the event. We have Côte d'Ivoire, the president will be here, and also to say that His Excellency Al-Hassan Ouattara, President of Côte d'Ivoire, will be the special guest of honor at the event. We will have Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, ECOWAS Chair, President of Liberia, she will be present as well. We will have the President of Guinea, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, other countries in Africa on the continent. We have Gabon, Zambia, and other countries. Also, we'll have prime ministers from Ethiopia, and a couple other countries. And then we have the international agencies as well. We have some speakers coming in to represent their country, speakers of parliament. And then we have all the other multilateral agencies being represented, such as the WHO, such as FAO, such as UNAIDS, and so on and so forth.
The event will start off in Parliament between 10 p.m. and at dawn 12 midnight to 1 a.m. My first message is to you, ladies and gentlemen of the media, that pursuant to the 1992 Constitution and the Transition Act of the Republic of Ghana, all is set for the inauguration of the President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Vice President-elect Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia before Parliament.
Adom Nyamasi Asaba, we have said in Mpensenpensenmu, but because lucky about clinic for the Roman of this and come away. But one of the Saquanya was so. Ma ono ndi dwuma nyina afishapa ade se agency officer se ne da so tinkwam lucky about say minjina wona name emphasize ankratwe emfama from on 0243201244 and 0277465855 yade bia da ne crankroda so bia no wo de kodom lucky herbala on ebo kwanso nkoso sanso na Royal Lightning Investment Limited so in Kania papa fi Bribia da opec and the Adijuma of say ceiling lights, wall lights, and I say recess lights, and I say table lamps and pendants, and so when you be on. When watching, so no in ground lights, any lights are sold to it will be all bricks, wall lighting, so it be on. Royal Lighting Investment for Chakwain, Ewo Bachuna off Spinters Road. Kane, Diana, Nick, and Siloga, a woman, Ben Bachona total. From on 0302 816310 or 0302-816311 or 0543-9094-33 na only one enko kasa na to wonyoma papa on their bedra esunobi Royal Lighting Investment Limited honi nkane afie papa ankasa Chema Mankwa anopema tufu name Robert Yaw Amankwa Chairman Amankwa Robert Yaw Amankwa Kane Asante Mpensenpensenmu Titneni. Good morning. Outgoing Deputy Minister, Lands and Natural Resources, still Member of Parliament for Dwaboso, Honorable Kwabna Minta Kando Atnasi. If you hear Honorable Henry Kwabna Kokofu, and so the Babatnasi. Honorable Kwaba.
Yeah, media.
Bibia come on.
Adom Boko.
Constituency to say what you mean, Jibra call New Year, and as if you want to buy a New Year.
Me frio New Year and frio and buy.
Okay, so not 30th, 31st of last year.
No.
Okay, and now frio.
Na me frio buy.
Boy Boko.
As at the time me frio de bibia Boko.
Did they buy about to bring in our
Oh, siade. Yakopon adaroma.
Nana more to say.
Obia. Omo ami hu omo timi kochia omo de. Obia ho ye. Ebinom nso frefrem. Ebepim le nyina me buy crab me ne ba kokra di nkombo.
Okay.
Obia ho ye. Obia ho ye.
Na number ba invitation. Inauguration.
Inauguration no aya na ye wo restrictions.
Okay.
Especially yen sorry no. Ebia omama wa mama 2 bia oyere ni one other person. Until eno no untumi invite senior ye vet na utumi nya makonya na inauguration of the president so enya yen ni inviting crofo.
Omo abem.
Enye abem
protocol for no.
Let's get this clear. Inauguration of the president in parliament. And Chesa Sabi obi a MPP ni tina ban abatu mi mu nto no. Baby ya de na nkasa parliament. Nti emre mu no. Baby parliament speaker. Baby speaker and say am no ti speaker first ye mra ne fie me sit na e parliament. Nti say ye to aba wie na say omampan ni be swan ye swan kire parliamentarians because they are the representatives of the people. The honey parliament but no you were kwan hodo e fa so ye san hyehyɛ no so ati ase nti enye say individual MPs na mo be decide say exactly the committees ni ade aye but I just wanted to clear the air na nkoye say obi a no all ba no
what's that to
dabi e ho parliament strictly speaking per dem ra no e parliament speaker no na e bibia nti ho no so hwe a speaker na oti adwam
sa when you briefing be as members of parliament in terms of the best in free machine proper about the machine outside just for for the particular occasion when you say briefing when you say so the from when you say bus
okay and no briefing the metiase but did come menchia atie for ni ahwefo mse manchia mra no atintin bibia ama enye din biem mra no kire se yeto abawia na se yekoje parliament na tumu on the 6th na de eche on the 7th ahomache 12 o'clock nti ba bia wo bia the first thing I was say we say we MP ato abama na afi na oba ma hye bagafia so ko register nti by now the minim say MP elect bia no why any registration awie ye twen say on the 6th na ahomache na de eche on the 7th no na mra no kire say yen ye beso in tombe dikan a dissolve into your two committees baako a ye dey inaugurate for the ebeba no the 7th parliament no na baako e dey dissolve the 6th parliament no into obi bia or 6th parliament nkan one more offices ni ade no I say taking inventory ni ade na especially one more man to me anwe ni bim and man contest bi mama no taking inventory ni ade na it me hand over edema wonom a wonom eba no nti strictly speaking no ebia free nyame ya Adom a the various caucuses na free ochina a ekono na ebehyehyia but process ne de enche da anye kumbason bebre normally because of congestion as a traffic no say yes way in ade no so ya na etoa so che because one say ahomache no ye be ya bia be free parliament kra na bo be 3 or 4 and normally no so no the inauguration of the president no it's at around 9-10 thereabout so at say nti uti a kira ahwe ye kra na obekọ fia obesan aba no nti ma ade ne ekotoam nti because of congestion and traffic nti mpempi de omo ye ne say yeah MPs no if parliament na ye ko wa ye pake ya shen ye cars ni nyina no e parliament or no mo the bus abefa ye nyina na ye de mo de akọ ye wia e san the bus abefa ye nyina na nyakopon ada Roma na de ye office ye ba ye na office bi ani ho nti we hu say we na ojegina o car boot ni ade yeah it was very tedious but nyame ada Roma and
you can rest a bit.
Yes, we to go office, aqua rest kakra, and sana say ubeko baby okokra. Nti we pray say things will be in order.
So far, BBI okay.
Oh, nyame adom. So far.
All right, come on. No, what is the official panso?
Near my year.
BBI, come on.
Oh, Adom.
Before we get to national issues, as Antimantem, our Babwane Kosa, or Tiko Koso, in Mami, radiator self-registration, Shani Bian and the council.
Mamma have watching. Na senior da o si amenya no na Adam Kwakufu say ache.
Good channel from campaign times I channel.
Say iguso.
Guzu channel na.
Ono ne ho kafo na Dr. Mahmoud
Bawo. Some channel kind of strategic.
No. One of the ministries and person come because of the name there no for all ministry no. Lands and forestry because unimashie bia no unibebia galamsey free by bebia see so it should be considered in times like this not for the name there no and koboa
anyway he's one of the
nah
that was no ko sa uka galamsey as say na dey abeton omabem yeah she fie mu nyina no
me blow hot
dabi me dey make can say me ba me share anya ono na me wi asem dey make can say every bia oni ni be share ha no said you see Gina or 90 ma who say where they was so many rosewood rosewood
yeah
I bet Tom rosewood in share one year baby the asa bet Tom say if you who do a galam say wo mu okonongo ne obuase there yi na or say what ya correct yeah yes am ne ko she ministry honom so dia ene akonya we dia ne nyina ne dia
yeah be bompa ya ma wonom
anya mpa boase na ka jeze nyame chi yenye adwuma nse de sisi ye no de tie ni se onya kwanya o sa so wade ode ye wo setena otoso ye na sinto amaga na eja pade wo no ye de equal measurement ma
ye minority for ya sede enu nti ne yato aba ma yen se yanko ma che badwafie
yes central for so ya sede ni se ye be hwese wo nso no critique ne ebe nam ne ko
exactly nti se ya me no kasa ya kruche book kase pa maybe idea adwuma die bia kodu ye bia atwe no nyina gum say enie yenso ye ho ye available fortunately papa yi madam for pa prekope ye ho mre bia mo feel say mo be hia me achechire nsem bi mu no we are willing and ready
and pay kasa ko na kokuvuzi ene ene wa ba me bo nti me be yiwa no die dia no yo
say ye dia
abra ne ni honorable kwabra kando ni mu abo marching yeah you see and we cry by next time ba betna ha ko nyama you see me
enyen sisi ai
adare emrase
ti emra
bro adare is it
okay you say me what to me okay
o majority side
Dize obetini dia pempem so dey na minimum say wo apa na ama na ko wo kai no na o je delegate ni mu a
oh my goodness
I say call me to order nana Akufo Addo na ka say I say manamu ntuo bia monhwe say ade a etochema mon kai me so ohun e bia na wo kan e ne kwan so pepepe na no kreso say unya koduru minority a wasede say wo ye nhwe ha wo hwe mu gyren na wo hwe aban a wo ote adwa mu na monamu tuo say emmoa o ma chichira pre na beti ana na ara brofo mu ye kan constructive criticism to da bia me gitum etimi ekọ akire ne ayibat ni nyina mu no adwempo eta akire ne say ye twen adwena si bibi so na o ka say eye won minority fo asede da bi Ghana for nyara said na minority
representatives of the people
na minority for ana wo mu no edi animu wo aman buo no nyina mu wo parliament nti eye nyina said
don't attempt to correct what is not wrong. The representatives of the people are MPs no conventionally the majority no are those in the executive. Over the years no yenya ye strike bebree a minority. So it's a convention. So don't attempt to correct that impression. That is a matter of fact.
Vibrant civil society organizations.
Of course.
That I agree.
It's almost very impactful.
That's it.
I don't put the kind of sample. Media. That's it. The media is also part
exactly.
Of it. So
in America, say Mojuma no, muna mu. Ah, Krobi no, yes, so what would cordialize is over too good. Yeah, man, to her. Omu was a no.
No, but don't encourage this.
That because as some na make ba. Say Badwam Mpensenpensenmu who say omu was sempa.
Very good.
Now what addresses are assembly how on. Nemum say to trust some prediasa.
Especially Lipa or press IDBN, so you have to be very careful about some of this statement.
Oh, but I've been in I've been in there. Natural resource management, governance, the name social issues, and this political inclination in but near cannot pay minimara Yura President Mahama Wakasa.
Inyankasai.
Inyanko.
Kanye bibi.
Mam kom mame ho. Ya nana. Ya de nyina. Owo hene. Sem na no onya ya nyina nya ntie. Se ose nani agina mpani. Nti obekọ. Penido. Ampa mpani ye na otweda tumfo na tenase. Efre na nanom ne adehwe se. Nka yi twa adwo na yadi abubu kakra ne ahwesa abre abesana adwene nso ewie ye kusi ye ne chese kwa na abre so beko na bansa lesempani tina patum ye nhihye de amamre ne amane egu akwam ehwe sebe ya oba pani na brabo ne wiase obaye ni twede ampon ne baade de ne baye na namontuo ne bibiara kopem se ni yamade ne onate sikadwa so echese waye bia masanteman waye bia magana man nti se abrewa atwenani ahwedan na sisi eja no kwan na enkoye bibibia sebin prediasa yetu na jeje mu enu nti me ame nana sama se wonim se sama yen na yetena me utumfo manhia de ne bompu nimpu nti se brichi bo manhia se ya
sama hene ai ashton M13 na say M13 hene no ashton okay to was
se brichi bo manhia se de aboya ye butu bichi ya manhia sama ya hemfie no utumfo eyo se ne sabe kona no kura gise yen nti sama hene on ne ben utumfo pa free brass abre ne ba nyina no di na baba bisisa abre nti awie no ho hihye nyina de ye kona mba mbegya yen ye ne ye dia okay sie na so na fe wo hwe bafo aje kase adum hina bakwasem ne amamre kire se ono ne santehema hweso ni kase santehema bibia ye ne nipadua na kwa nya niam bia wo ye ne asendi bia ho nsensem nyina eyadum hene aye baafo aje kase otianan ono ana saaju bedie nyina hye ne sa nti aba ne si ya na brewa afa ne nsa tem atofo mu eche se baafo ne abrafo ani abre papa nti eno nso ewo eno ne chefa na no be na otwi ni naduni menem na nyakwanya kochi otumfo ma no demrifa dwie na nechese medemani hwehwe mu de maso etitie mu na nechese ahoboa nyina asi aka nia kakra bi nyame adom na memene da ya nimu yi oman hyehye ne oman nyina asem kese da ya nimu se yede omampani foforo na danko kufu adu besi adwam wie se ekim afi frisa abre ne kunyina de obi hu se mabo friend saying kuntunkunim nko a echese afi ato abesere na hona kwamra beba me frɛ no beba kumase na aba na so nim sa bantuma hene ono na ye utumfo asantema general unim sa ho baafo ama kwatia ono ne okofo
onim se we otumfo tikoko so sesia yetete no sahwe sahwe himfie
danchira na nya danchira mom
dabi de otu sesia yetete no sahwe oso ahimfie nana kodwa de hene ona tete no nti okọ school sahwe oso senior high school kakra
ofa
nti hona ye man ntete se
ofa hia hene
obi a
obi basubodi ne pia kotu sahwe so o pia si bi akosi
kwamra ye man kakra ebize
ehodi tete no che no I mean also mo won
si wo ze kinsolo mo ni bias wa ye me pia bi se
ya obi so bia o ni eye mi ohun ti si a ohun so ohun ni aprekope ohun so ohun na aprekope tete no se hwiman it's a segment of
it is a wo hwe asanteman na ahinsem wo mayim na nananom atena konwa wo mamu nyinara senia umukura ahinsem mu na nimdie kwan so na fe ahobrase kwan so na omu timi ekeka nyinaa yebomu ne ye adwuma se de sefata na emma yehu ye ho se ye nipa baako omamu eje se ahinsem ne amamre ne amane ensem ewo fapem ewo ya setena mu se omanma se onipa ya mamu okura yebue ubehwe na niema bi wom na yekofafri na nanma trankonya won hihye ne won niema mu ene senia omudi wo munwuma ne wo enti adsema ba beda hoi na ye hwe animu uyi firi mu se ya hwere ya bre watia na ye jam na usanya bio se akwanya ma nene mafuei a pe bibia hunu pe bibia sua afa amayosem amamresem mu wonso wenyina so anya bi enti no so ya nada ade ba ko ansana nhwehwemu adesuafo nso so abakwasem mu nhwehwemu ebi na mini eken eno so ba beda ho enti kumasi ni adaje pampas ni adaje
this month
na butumi yem pampas ni adaje bantme ni adaje na adum ni adaje menhia chese ebe
so Kwabra Kokofu no what is waka say ana outgoing deputy minister lands and natural resources still member of parliament for Jaboso what's Sasha Breno here ono has Sasha Breno
can be 3 times outgoing me have been outgoing
what reflect outgoing in crowd this year
oh na
Kwabra majority na minority
me ba pe ke benini emre dane ni amako
ona ya okoto ni mo amako wo kwa amako man wo du mre dane a ibenkum so ba bia
anyina su udu wo kotepa no anyina su na wa amane beti akokwan no du mre dane na chese wo du amako no
okay so enter in go read page 10 my opinion of a write-up by Elizabeth Ohene and the end bit or say finish hard JDM. Since President John Dramani Mahama is so desperate to find things to fill up the last few days of his time in office, maybe he might take some suggestions for me. Today, Wednesday, January 4, he might want to renew the STS project and perform a sword cutting ceremony anew. He can remind us of how many houses will be built for the security agencies and tell us how this is a well thought out project and will deliver on the Better Ghana agenda. He shouldn't forget to tell the members of the security agencies that they should insist the incoming government finishes the project. Tomorrow, Thursday, January 5, President Mahama might want to go to cut the sword anew for the 10 billion Hope City project being sponsored by his RLG friend. The president might want to remind us about the transformational nature of the project and how it is going to change the face of Ghana. He might want to tell us about the need for us to think big and assure us this was a well thought out project. The community is it in Kaswa or Adom, will be encouraged to make sure the incoming government completes the project. On Friday, January 6, President Mahama might want to tell us about the plane he has chartered to fly the money to the Black Stars as they play in the AFCON in Gabon. He is, after all, the president, and he's doing all he can for the good of the country he loves so deeply and has served so competently. On Saturday, January 7, President Mahama might discover he is an ex-president caught in the Hamatan dust blow, and the sword curtain is over. So it's a write-up from Joyce of Africa, Roaring Share, but
it's not worth my attention.
It's
I'm so sorry. Yeah, so very sorry. It's a mischievous. It's mischief, pure mischief. I don't think there was anyway waste your time here discuss it. In my humble opinion.
Maybe I better discuss it.
Then I won't discuss it.
Oh, so
I thought that I'm tying this in with Mahama's exit has brought sanity on airways.
We had
and
issues,
then
issue 1, issue 2,
support
issue 3.
Akufo-Addo. Mahama pleads.
Yeah. We say utie ni ya. Now final face value. When I'm afraid say satire no.
Yeah, I say yeah relief be.
Just say or the yam fatu hu bi ne. O kan si so say. Ehu be hia so your mampani na mre na du. Na ufra be ma nha hu pi. Ni hyehyɛ nneɛma pepere ho krikri sɛ woyɛ nneɛma bi afi sɛ pre abɛpere ho biara no wontimi nyɛ bibia nkonkowie da
tibere na so
na aso baabi a wayɛ adu no wayɛ adu ɛno nti ana presidential transition no mmara na ɛma ɔmampani baako ɛdane amamuo de ma ɔmampani baako mpo sɛ wakora na adane ama wo ho a sɛ ɔto aba na adi nkunim a ɛhyɛ wo sɛ akabosome ame ato aba kukyiri nneɛma a wayɛ nyinaa wɔ bere a wabɔ ɛwɔ ɔman nhyehyɛe no ho nyinaa kukyiri wo ne wapamfo nyinaa na momfa nkɔgya deɛ yɛfrɛ no administrator general a yɛapaw no sɛ ɔno na ɔnye bosome baako na sɛ wo kukyiri a bɔmmɔdena sɛ nneɛma a wayɔ wobɛkukyiri na afei deɛ ka wo ani soɔ a nimanim a wunya akonya ka pesa wo san ye ka ho wo tu fa no so to oman enti se administrator general no so mu a na won a se obi kura na eba aban mu a no hu se we de na kofi adwene ho se wo de be ya ka nti se wo ye mpo a ana utu hu ana mu a na nkobo obi pusa so ahunu na emremu lawyer fo mienu mu di asem anyway na bibi ho ese ba kono ma no yonko hunu no amena hunu na court mpofiri mu ana wayo waye pie eno no ye kasa o spring surprises eba ne sa na akoye nsembisa bebre eno ho na ode eba bewuram na mom say
a former rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration says the change in leadership has brought sanity on the airways. Professor Stephen Adai observed with amazement that the last two public utterances of President John Dramani Mahama after his defeat in the December 7 polls have been very presidential, and I quote, "Even before we see the installation of a new president, the atmosphere has become better," unquote. He told Joy FM Super Morning Show host Inshirado Tuesday. The educationist said, when new leaders take office, they do not need to continue with attitude exhibited by the previous leaders. He said they are responsible for giving a new vision to the entity by modeling a new set of culture to change the current one. Names of potential ministers have been put out with 4 days to the inauguration of President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The President-elect has announced Professor Frimpong Boateng as his environment and science to be. He has also done same for Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen as the incoming trade minister. But Professor Adai has cautioned the incoming government to be wary of the Ghanaian culture where subordinates initially kowtow to demands of the new leader only to change later. I don't know the sanity and the presidential bit. He's been very presidential. That
in the content.
Yeah, he's talking about.
Can I have my take
okay,
now?
yes, yeah, probably.
Dedi kan emra emra na wonom drafted constitution of this land and so on. Wonom they put a lot of things into consideration. Let me first make the point. Nano ameni menu akwanyi be share ha na ka me pesa akwanyi na make this point we say it is not stated anywhere in the Transition Act say president hand over and I say the handing over note command administrator general na the governance no aba awieye a yentumi enye bibia anase omampanyi entumi ni nedwuma enye no kre Obi obe try to create this impression biano. No person obe one. It's not true. Now, yedika can say, Omampanyi di breno. Si yenya to abama oni eji utumi wia ayemfie 9. Kwabna, obi di madanse ye say. So Omampanyi ejai Omampanyi di breno to even 1 minute, 1 hour. Abe affected the whole country. And nunti na wohwe Ghana yenhye mu a your constitution no akyere say so Omampanyi bi ni ho a we na nsi na nan mu se ne ebe ya vacuum bi meda ho na oman no entumi nkoda ho saa akwa bra yentumi wa ne bibia. So at every point in time yenhye mu no there's somebody all acting as the president of the land. Me say if you have anything at all anke beka ho asem a I will say I admire the boldness of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama bra wadi nkuguo ewa elections mu na mmom onya saa kukudro ne pepa ne so beson oman no obi anka o se madi nkuguo dia ene mempake me kuku ne me kaka na me nkotra me fie na menye mahome after all dia di obi asebe impreduce onwen kokan bia ne say na abadwen obadwen tietiem but papa ne say there be ye wo man bia ye bo ho ban anu nti no se madi nkuguo mpa there be e wo se metena ho ekopem mra ne kire se e wo se metena ho bibia all year at this point in time bia so enana kwemu a enfom mra bia ubetimi adini ho fewo ubetimi aka de obeka bia efeudi eduru ba bia na koye
right up
especially this right up ubetimi din ne ho fewo ubetimi aka wa adwen the beauty of democracy no aka de obeka bia but the point is it against any of the provisions in our statutes? What from Rabia na meti say na anu some na meti ye dia MPP 4EB 82 America so no moko asem ni bia akope sebia injunction no say dia den abe restraining His Excellency the President for making some appointment or swearing some people in ni ade but opoyin koso aden adi ni dwuma so hu enu nti edu ba bia aya na amanyosam nti no nima bi wo ho a ye mpese ye beka no kre ohwe even at the international level some papa ne free anu mu ba na even o invite ne mfefo a wona o maye adwuma sa mo mra o man mu na mo mehwe ade pa ekoso e wo o man mu na Akufo Addo ana say president elect be so in this date it me invite mo nyina amaba na sabi mra no yancho ne ba bia say si enya president elector I was say 24/7 the substantive president as an outgoing president no I was so consulting no also on share the powers and ade and so you be struggle na lawyer for abumra ne denche ya tomra to ba ni e moral argument lawyer for ma powerful say wasanka sabi nyama nyosemu a omunim de no meka mra se mra no ha ne abie ha no mampanya bu eno na wo kamera anya emotions so what I say now camera say sir provision we eno mampanya bu so enti me mom de me fe e wo sa de ma we mu de me fe e wo yenhyehyɛ mu ni say se ye to aba anya ye hanko a ukọ US nyina asa ne te se ye to aba ema president elect bia na the outgoing president be tro ne boase no ahyehye ni ene na mo ka say handing over was say wo I challenge them bibia ni wo mampanyi ya any handing over note if they have read it bibia ni if they have read it I am challenging them say sir Adom wo ye mampanyi atui it falls under this ministry it should fall under this sector na mom sa sector ni akohwe ho bibia ni mu sa nto mampanyi wo bu mra so na ko ba ne say papa na ko de wa ya ma ya nyina no any examples are set sabi wanya hwe kurampo no na Akufo Addo contest elections the third time ni emu bia ni wa baba wie ya otumi gira efa afon frɛ any of our
but Professor Adai talks about any exit in the sanity about airwaves.
So if he's referring to
he talks about the president being presidential.
Exactly. So if he talk me so kind atifi sam no any content ebra so atifi sam no actually said the sanity be
president being unpresidential.
Exactly.
No, tell me. Our president.
Meba. See, the mekan ye no, any mentiase, the ode ma ye no. atifi sɛm no ɛkyerɛ bibi sɛ na ɔmampanyin ɛnyɛ bibi a ɛho te dada na afei ɔkɔ no ɛna bibi a ɛho te dada bi ɛbɛyɛ system sana meti aseɛ but emom sɛ ɔka content na content no so kyerɛ wo nneɛma ɔmampanyin ayɛ a ɛyɛ papa a ofi sɛ yɛkɔ anim na ɛbɛboa yɛn nti ɛma untumi ɛmfa atifi sɛm no ɛntoto nneɛma a ɛwɔ mu ɔmampanyin hwɛ kwabena opa mɛmpɛ n'asɛm but if you say me maniti am be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as member of parliament, as deputy minister, as substantive minister, as vice president, as president of Republic of Ghana. Obia beka no krese or obia baako osonya me. Mienu obre ne ho ase. Obia ne kasa hote. Ne kasa.
Okay, Mesa about so but Professor Adai is just an ordinary person in society. And so words, they play important role. This is a professor choosing his words carefully. In this case, or say the former rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration says the change in leadership has brought sanity on the airwaves. Professor Adai observed with amazement, underlined amazement, that the last two public utterances, that is where there is a serious challenge, that the last two public utterances of President John Dramani Mahama after his defeat, underlined, has been very presidential. So in effect, if the reversal is that, but for these last two utterances, the president has been very unpresidential. And we had also had challenges with sanity on our airwaves during his time as a president. That's probably the other reversal of it.
Kwame quick one, Mama Cornea na in your candles. Ubian can say transition presidential transition mrebi wo mse president se uja wadwuma. That be ma can be or se bosome baako ansa na yekoto aba. Kuchire niema a waye nyina. Wo kuchira ne wo wani so a wo beye chichirigu account chichirika ho. What do you say? Okay. Osini nyina wo. On the 1st of December, na IEA for Abuja, na a friend is saying, Administrator General, on no special guest or team, or say, see, I may no more say, me was Sankra turning in our president in a suede, Sa handed over no singing in our breme. What did they make? You got to Nancy, you got to Abba. You were born on the 9th of January, December. 9th of December. Memeneda na mpenina sinkonya say esese ya transition team kwasiada na inaugurate nyasa entina ka wo bia susu say ya inaugurate ya na yehunu say nana ya asafmafu ne di nana kufu ado anamu na ugina nanamu no na nkantempa no niema nkrata no su a ye de abeja wo dada bosome no na nka wo de apa eduro ho na fe na ena fankrata na bra o se na mensan kan ana o mo fa ma afi ho na yakofa mienu aba na kire se sa bre na nansia na obekasa no na wo dada Ghana fo ana se ne de abre na mpa aso obi abesan abeji ana edin sa bi ko be ma na kire se wenyina akire adene etie no mu no na wo fa handing over nose ni nyina mai na uguso na wo tu anamo bi a obi nkase etia mrawo na emom sa o ma kwanya bi yes abedan fifu na ape tobo ape wase wate se lawyer for ajai mra na ye ka moral argument ko read the supreme court cases ko read the court cases judgments ahodo ideama judge betimi atia asem na no o se mra ne si we nanso ye ni penti na we enunti ane ye wo equity meba tobo equity
no judge control the law away and on moral argument. It's not true.
The concept of equity, equitable remedies,
of course,
what do you say? Are you based on moral grounds? And yes, substantive law.
Of course, I agree.
Nothing any why where I was tobo meba.
That be clarification. I mean clarify.
With general statement you made, the sweeping statement you made, say lawyer for Kamura, and I make a choice. It's grounded. It's part of the law.
Me say lawyer for etumra. Listen to what I said.
But
me can't just want to be moral argument in fan from no argument. That's what I said. See them make no me say. Obeso quote me ti them make
the concept.
Me say I know equity minimum. Say
and then now refi ntina kokansa ana maka
what me chance won tie me
to mo mami
o mra ne dinti
mami
e kire say o me mra na to baby
okay mami kwamra mami koso yanko professor there asmoka afa quick one na me na adia mampania yi mo me yanka ye ho 2009 abatwa ya tunu Ghana ha de ben pa ben dua be ye kaze si dua ben na etwie 40,000 and now Professor Mills did president of Ghana. First round. Nani otia be mu no. And now Dakwa Kufuor do any mu no. Now we lead by 100,000 votes. Ebi si Africa da. Ebi si da. Africa probia me be BBC bi mu. Ebi Ghana ya ye bi na nkrofo bi suan. The odotia be incumbent. The candidate ni lead by 100,000 votes. Now you say ben so close wenya ntino wenya 50+1 enti ye kwa runoff na ya kwa runoff na nia ono no we chire no odi ba wakwa chire ama de ono we chire na abanimu eno kra no wo de toto hwenye ye se akro ba akode bi ba bi bronu bi so de aka enti ye nkonkoto eno no mra ne ye fa no meditame na ye wie no na 40,000 difference mampeni no ho no eni di ono no di animu no o mo se nya hwe sa na Ghana fo aka nya hwe ya hand over na Kufuor do afa telephone no arrange Professor Mills no congratulate no and no who pa boso body here eni ne ho na so na se see ya me no kase what lose elections well over 1 million votes o party a lose seats difference our parliament 50 seats. You don't have a choice. Now, when you have Brazil, Wabasamu will go now over there. We can call Crabbe with this margin of defeat. Senia Ghana as a genetier, any senia in Guasianetier, any Sikabe Brebeni, the B Keke, better Ghana infrastructure. Neko we are seno. Ubenya 1 million vote to Ashanti region, ne ko wi ase no na sa 1 million vote no ne de ka ho ye difference. Ebi si Ghana bakwase mu da. Now first time as president, na wa lusu kese anti sei Ghana fo akasa. Na wo mra ho ase na be de. Wo mra ho ase na be de. Be bra ho ase. Sem ne ba ne be mu aba mabu. Enti no Professor Adai asem opese o kan say. Ansani ebe to aba no ene ye nyina se nyina wo memu obi ati
but the choice of words
enti opa ye
appropriate
yanko back ni yanko tie sembia na president no no an kola ne ka
so but for the last two utterances of this president
yes
anka he's been very unpresidential
and
that's quite
unfair. So see, meba.
You can decide to say
anything.
And he will struggle to defend it.
Yes.
Now, media maker say.
He will defend it.
Media maker say. Uti nsema Professor Aka. O mremu no wa binyi. Nti ye brof na eka no situate ni man. Mafano on the face value. Say Professor Aka say a former rector of Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration says the change in leadership has brought sanity on the airwaves and continues to use words. Professor Adai observed with amazement that the last two public utterances of President John Dramani Mahama after his defeat has been very presidential.
Come now, how is it? On no opinion, na dwenchire no. Nia ono hu no fa no no nia ote ase fa no no say ebire bi atwa mu no anya nto aba na.
So the president for almost 4 years or 4 years this time has a reasonable number of percentage above 50% has acted very unprecedented all these while under the watch of Professor Adai.
Son of no walker.
Is that the case?
I'm not just saying Usano.
But is that the case?
Since a Wubusano.
Yeah, but subject you be asthma or canoe to some of
Me
these
say,
things,
just say Wubusano.
No.
Me Canada may make a statement. Me,
okay.
Canada may make a statement. That was our issue.
He talks about sanity on the airwaves. At the present, the chaos by now.
Oh, there be an on podium, an on dear.
And as a more for
my father said, both device. Your car battle.
Yeah.
Me pese, me cania. We never person me cantine wash. They pija ko. A woman say, na attend you know, be wo baby in Puechani, I didn't know so near the other. It your two are benivia. Now, dear Fenono. Your 2 years, na your chrea junior, na jobre, I saw punching tokano. Eti se emuadua, na was say, the bien who I pre who be 2 minutes near pre hono. Aquadana dabre, a cold jina baby jina. Jo, be a jina bre, udum jina ha, wa jina ha, uko kwa yemua. You know, now who's a waweni, udum near, sapele near, na otian near. Nya wiabo say na unza bom yu a unim se bia bia ye pe dabi nti se ya kire ya yi nkwada no memo ana firi mpanifo num ya hunu se we gina bre ni we ni
yes bre emu ada ho
okay nti mempene mintie bia eni ho emu da ho fine
Kofi Amankwasi mimbusa wasem kaka was say since you are talking about law, can you please ask him what the Transitional Act says on the length of time you are supposed to submit your handing over notes to the Administrator General, and when did the outgoing president and his appointees submitted theirs?
I know they were kind of, but you see, on a more serious note, and kanka one more sharing our NDC for no, yen prepare your comma for some of these things. Your media houses have been more home, dear so many so even whilst we're in power, your position is no. Your margins, pay asem dada, your margins, but it's part of the democracy. Yen pin yakoma, ni engine in good faith, ni enya dear beya, my party no afan and tamapa efra. Any individuals bia, ubuha pay mampany asem, ubuha pay a party asem. Now be who say oye neutral. Na obekan semwa sabin preduasa, ebia na odi nsio jinamua enye ye. Ana so say ebia nsema woka no utimu se nsema woka no sabe mpraduasa emfa kwan anaso nsema woka no enya no kre ebi ni yewura Professor Ade dia woka woti Professor Ade din a oyo obi a onim de e wo manyimu. You can't take that away from him. Woti Professor Ade din a ade e beba wadwin mu na otimu ni se oh opanyin a oye sa panyin a ohwe sa de tie bia yisu de obekasa de a okasa se obi a oye independent a onfa political lens bia enhyeye na waye crowd se wutie no nti se opanyin ne kasa no wie no ka kire Ghana fo nyina se efi se omampanyin John Dramani Mahama ebeye omampanyin onye statement is even say a speech and I say o say onye statement bia eye presidential but for say olusu ya clearly now to me who say sabi say ya wo nekra now to me who say nsem na orkan eye niema mienu either say papa na onpenasem and I say ebia manyoko no onpenasem because obi anim say his excellency John Dramani Mahama sabi so tu kwan kra no kwa ma no ne
understand of unprecedented utterances.
Well, if you are a president na say o ye omampanyin na say on kasa te say omampanyin a so what I say, on Kasate say
3.5 years, almost 4 years.
Exactly. That's
on Kasate.
There be on Kasate.
But is that true?
How can this be true? Obia.
But this is a professor observing.
That is what I'm saying. Say,
it has nothing to do with Ompenasem. That is
Masa. Listen.
It has nothing to do with Ompenasem.
It has everything to do with it.
Instances that describes him as talking insane as a president, but over the years he has not talked.
I'm saying that. Sir Kwabena. So wo mienu even MPP ni ma card bearer member ye MPP ni ma party min che hey onya difficulty with justifying what papa na can say ubisa ni say nti aso no kre o say twen manen kan asam no abisa no sa no ka kire wo nti say MPP ni kura na ono ne yen ya manyoko ne kura anya adwen kura no etumi etwi ni nine form in justifying this statement no be afisa onim de na anka oka asema onfa political party bia hweniwa enhye na obe create the impression in everybody's mind oh papa yi be kasa yi de onyina benkum onya nifa na sa asem wetimi firi nanum ba abra yenya kasa hu videos upon videos a omampanye tu kwa amanone a okasa kire amanone for wiase fa na nyina a okasa kire parliament a oma the state of the nation address a omampanye tu fo a omampanye kra engage Ghanaians on the airwaves we are connecting across the length and breadth of this country we are discussing in this country papa nko say ono na dwimu no for the 4 years no omampanye nkasa asa omampanye da e wo maimu na wo hwia ka kyerem se sa papa no onim dinti no mihu ne kasa ne say oye independent se enye se sabe abanyoko no mpena asem ana nye papa no mpena asem a opanyi sa na onim de no it will be very difficult for him to make such a conclusion so what I say into for me the humble advice for example here delegate ene delegate almost say NDC split over minority leader position. These are some of the things I'm talking about. How can this be true? Even the new parliament in Ekrampono,
but behind the scenes,
that is not the point.
The party is meeting to make sure
that is not the point.
Can
that is not the point. The process, so what I say, to tell you the truth, I think one more because the outgoing parliament, ain't mean to sue leaders for the incoming parliament. It before say you better take a decision we should settle. I was say a 2 and suffer one more minority for now. One any parliament that no. Near here because NDC MPP this time round independent some near the DBN. So the position of the party and then the members elect then you know to keep position on some of these issues. I mean for me winding up and concluding we want to go to a position ya de sabi bibi ba beka ya democracy na ho but for it is idea ya best almost say anka almost sisa almost stand like
okay so kede my hene
Osaberima.
I have Osaberima. Macho no pay. That's a DACP. Hey, in transmission, there is a problem. That transmission I carry.
My kind I say, easy for hugging. I'm so. My German tea.
That man come. Easy crash hackers. What's it? It is no hackers was transmitting it. Okay, so wrap up by there.
Na Osaberima ejare tinadu otosumienu kadema hene na opeso hunya ndien kwama ayi etietia we de kasura de fo atoto bia memfa ho leadership wo ho a wo ka ho asem wayi onim a so onim dia ne bia ompeso obeka se ne party but me kakakra che ono ane party no o ma invite regional caucuses se obi a ususu se nya gina bre wo mbia no fa ne dini bra ama Greater Accra caucus ayi ni lante banda point se adwumadi a na yewura muntaka edie no yemma ono no mayo ni obedi ontobo obedi minority leader no so
you call this one a split